8, live from IOGEN online television. I am Makanjola Luatosin Esther. Here are the headlines. On our local news this morning, 2 monarchs killed, others unconscious in Imo stakeholders meeting attack. A new amendment empowers INEC to use electronic voting machines. On our political news this morning, consensus arrangements suffer setback in Northeast. APC-PDP exchange harsh words on Fayemi's 3-year performance. On our business news this morning, U.S. consulate trains 50 teachers in Lagos. Dangote Group, empty Nigerian orders get recognition. On our sport news this morning, Nigerian versus Ghana, World Drum 6-5th win for Falcons. On our health news this morning, Adamawa record 500 cholera sicknesses, 23 deaths, says the officials. On our foreign news this morning, Kenya child killer beaten to death by mob after jail escape. On our entertainment news this morning, I don't want to faint from watching Tiwa's leaked tape, says Shehu Sunny. So full details coming up next. 2 monarchs killed, others unconscious in Imo stakeholders meeting attack. Tragedy struck in Imo State on Tuesday evening as yet to be identified gunmen opened fire on traditional rulers, killing 2 of them in the process. The traditional rulers were having a stakeholders meeting at the council headquarters in Nenasa in the Njaba local government area of the state. When the gunmen struck, the affected monarchs were Eze E.A. Duru Ebure, who is the Obi of Ukudo, and Eze Samson Osunwa of E.A. Binowere Autonomous Community, Eze E. Oyeka of Nkume, and Eze Akpaka of Amucha are said to have sustained bullet wounds. Our correspondent learned that other traditional rulers were left with broken ends and hands. As of the time of filing this report, the council headquarters was in a state of panic. The police spokesperson in the state, Mike Abata, said that 2 monarchs were confirmed dead. New amendment powers INEC to use electronic voting machines, says the Senate. The Senate said its recent committal proceedings carried out on the 2010 Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021 would enable the Independent National Electoral Commission to make use of electoral voting machines whenever it had the capacity to do so. The spokesperson for the Red Chamber, who is also a member of the Conference Committee on the Electoral Act, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, stated this while giving explanations on the latest action of the Senate on the proposed legislation. He said the amendment section 43 of the Act sought to introduce electronic voting machines as one of the materials that an agent of a party will be entitled to inspect. Bashiru said the section also empowers INEC to provide, whenever they have the competence to do so, electronic voting machines for elections. The amendment of Section 43(2) relates to 2 subsections. For instance, Section 43, which is 1, now reads that the Commission, INEC, shall provide suitable boxes, electronic voting machines, or any other voting devices for the conduct of elections. This will allow INEC, when they have the necessary wherewithal and competence, without approaching the National Assembly, to introduce electronic voting machines as part of the materials they will use for elections. It is hoped that this will strengthen the Commission and avoid a situation that happened in the case of Nyesom Wike and Dakuku Peterside, whereby the Supreme Court did not agree that the card reader was part of the requirements of the Electoral Act. Bashiru added that the amendments done to Section 43(3) would enable party agents to have access to electronic voting machines and other voting devices from the office to the polling units. He stated the agents, by the latest provision, will be able to inspect and see the electronic voting machines before the election. We introduced the new amendment so that people won't say that the electronic materials are too generic and they do not include voting machines. INEC must allow polling agents to inspect all election materials before deploying them in polling units. We believe that the action will strengthen transparency and allow oversight by political party agents at polling units. On our political news this morning, consensus arrangements suffer setback in Northeast. The plan by People's Democratic Party stakeholders in the Northeast to present a consensus candidate to occupy the position of Deputy National Chairman, North, for the October 30 to 31 National Convention has suffered a setback. It was gathered in Abuja on Tuesday that while some stakeholders were preparing to present the party's ex-candidate in the 2019 Yobe State governorship election, Ambassador Umar Damagun, as consensus candidate, former Minister for Women Affairs Ina Siroma has joined the race. While submitting an expression of interest on nomination forms at the PDP National Secretariat, Abuja, Siroma promised to strengthen the party in the north if given the chance. Ina Siroma said the 2023 election is a task that must be done, and we need a winning formula knowing the difficulties Nigerians are now faced with. One of my greatest challenges will be to pour out our teaming members in the north to build stronger and more efficient political structures to respond to the antics of the main opposition party in our region. Meanwhile, an aspirant for the deposition of PDP National Publicity Secretary, Debo Olugunagba, has promised to contribute his quota towards restoring the party back to its pride of place if given the chance. He said this after submitting his experience of interest and nominations form at the party headquarters in Abuja. Olonwagba said two things we are going to emphasize during this period. We know the state of this country right now: unemployment, insecurity, and infrastructural decay. So the major role for the PDP today is because the people are waiting for hope. APC-PDP exchange hard words on Fayemi's 3-year performance. The Ekiti State chapter of the People's Democratic Party and the governing All Progressive Congress on Tuesday disagreed over the performance of the Governor Kayode Fayemi-led administration over the last 3 years. While the PDP described the governor's time in office as a disaster and the colossal failure in the history of the state, the APC insisted that the governor gave a good account of himself. The PDP State Publicity Secretary, Raphael Adeyanju, in a statement titled 3rd Year Anniversary, Ekiti PDP slams Fayemi, saying APC celebrating failure and deception, argued that Fayemi's anniversary was a celebration of shamelessness on the part of the government. He stated it is shameful the state government invited the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, to inaugurate only a project executed by the administration in 3 years, which is the Civic Center in Ado-Ekiti, which started even years ago. Regretfully, the Vice President and his entourage landed in Akure, a 30-minute drive from Ado-Ekiti, and was picked in a chopper at the Akure airport to Ado-Ekiti because of the terrible, deplorable, and precarious condition of the Akure-Iju-Ikere road, just as other roads leading to the state have all collapsed. He said this was not the case when the PDP was in government. During the PDP administration of Governor Ayodele Fayose, the roads were constantly maintained with Ekiti State money, which was never refunded by the APC federal government. The PDP also accused the APC-led administration of embarking on a looting spree instead of working for the common good of the people. Reacting to the charge, the APC State Publicity Secretary, Segun Dipe, said, "How can anyone say paying workers salaries for 3 years without owing isn't worth celebrations?" Thus, the completion of the Civic Center, which the former Governor Ayodele Fayose abandoned despite reaching 80% completion and tiring of so many roads, not worth celebrating. Under the PDP government, primary and secondary schools, students were paying levies, but is the abrogation of sub-obnoxious levies by Governor Fayemi not worth celebrating? On our business news this morning, U.S. consulate trains 50 teachers in Lagos State. The Lagos State Ministry of Education has partnered with the U.S. Consulate General to train 50 teachers from the Education District 1 in a STEM training workshop. The teachers who were drawn for public schools in undeserved communities of Agege, Alimosho, and Ifako-Ijayi were introduced to the basics of building and flying drones, computer coding, solar panel assembly, according to a statement by the consulate. The U.S. Consulate's Public Affairs Officer, Stephen Ibeli, while speaking at the grand finale of the workshop held at the Government Senior College, Agege, said the workshop was aimed at offering innovative tools for teachers from public high schools to teach STEM subjects and prepare better Nigerian youth for 21st century challenges. Ibeli said the U.S. mission in Nigeria is committed to supporting initiatives that promote STEM education in Nigeria. Technological knowledge is an essential element of the 21st century economy, and it starts in the classroom. This teacher training workshop will boost teachers' confidence and capabilities in the areas of STEM teaching and learning. The statement said following the completion of the training, the U.S. Consulate provided all 50 teachers with a drone in a box to take back to their schools and classrooms. This is expected to provide the teachers and their students with an opportunity to put their newly acquired skills to use, it added. Dangote Group, MTN Nigeria, others get recognition. Dangote Group and MTN Nigerian. Dangote Group and MTN Nigerian PLC have been recognized for their brand image and presence in the Nigerian market by top 50 brands. According to a statement from the consultancy, Dangote Group emerged as the most valuable brand in the country, while MTN Nigeria was adjudged the most popular in a top-of-the-mind survey conducted among corporate executives in the country. The Chief Executive Officer of Top 50 Brands, Taiwo Oluboyede, said the subject of brand and branding had become central in corporations. He said it drove and determined corporate placement, particularly in unprecedented times. He said, "We are glad once again that a Nigerian brand emerged as the most valuable for the year. This says a lot about our tenacity and resilience as a people and our businesses, regardless of the situation around us. Even though overall we have more multinationals, the homegrown brands gave an impressive performance. Globalcon Nigeria Limited emerged in the third position, followed by Coca-Cola Nigeria Limited. Others in the top 10 of the ranking were Guaranty Trust Bank Holding Company PLC, Airtel Africa PLC, Access Bank PLC, Zenith Bank PLC, First Bank Limited, and Dufil Prima Feeds Limited. On our sport news this morning, Nigeria versus Ghana. World Drum 6th fifth win with Falcons. Super Falcons coach Randy Waldrum will be aiming to record his 5th win with the Super Falcons when they battle the Black Queens of Ghana in Wednesdays, which is today, 2022 Women African Cup of Nations qualifying fixture at the Mobolaji Johnson area. Waldrum will also be desperate to return to winning ways with the Falcons, following their 4-2 loss to South Africa in the final of the maiden Aisha Buhari Invitational Women Tournament. The former University of Pittsburgh coach has been in the charge of the Falcons for 8 games and has recorded 4 wins, 3 losses and a draw. His team has scored a total of 18 goals. Waldrum led the Falcons to victories over CSKA Moscow 1-0, Uzbekistan 1-0 and Equatorial Guinea 9-0 at the Invitational Turkish Women's Cup in Antalya in February and a 2-0 win over Mali at the Aisha Buhari Invitational Women's Tournament. They lost 1-0 to Jamaica and 2-0 to the United States at a 4-nation tournament in the United States in June and 4-2 to South Africa in the final of the Aisha Buhari Invitational Women's Tournament. The only draw his side recorded was against Portugal at the 4-nation tournament in the United States, which ended 3-3. Ahead of Wednesday's clash against the Black Queens, Waldrum admitted his side would need to be at their best if they were to advance to the final round. Ghana are a good team, Waldrum said in the pre-match conference. We have a lot of respect for them. I think they played well during the Aisha Buhari Cup. They have some dangerous players and it is going to be a tough match, but I'm confident in my team. It is important for us to get a good win at home and then go to Accra and play like warriors. These are 2 battles that we must be ready for. The Super Falcons just have to be at the AFCON and the World Cup, and they are ready to give these 2 matches their all. On our health news this morning, Adamawa records 500 cholera, 28 deaths, says the officials. The Adamawa state government says it has recorded 500 cholera cases with 23 deaths since the outbreak of the disease in the state on September. The Director of Public Health in the State Ministry of Health, Dr. Celine Lahori, confirmed the development of the News Agency of Nigeria on Tuesday in Yola. Lahori said that the local government area was hit by cholera include Yola North, Girei and Lamud respectively. Since the outbreak of the disease in the state in September till date, we have recorded about 500 suspected cases and 23 deaths. Majority of those affected were treated and discharged, the official said. She called on the people of the state to maintain basic hygiene and sanitation, as well as ensure that food and water to be taken are safe. Meanwhile, Malam Audu Ali, a resident of Yola Ward in Jemetia, Yola North local government area, lost 3 children to cholera. Aliyu told NAN that the incident occurred on Monday at the hospital, where the 3 children were rushed in for suspected cholera infection. Yesterday, Monday morning, I left my house for my place of business, and on my arrival, I received a call that 3 of my children, Muhammadu Audu 10, Aruna Audu 3, and Biliki Audu 4, were admitted in the hospital. I rushed to the hospital where they were receiving medical treatment. Unfortunately, 2 of them died yesterday, Monday and Tuesday. In the morning, I lost the remaining 1, Ali said. When the NAN correspondent visited Ali residence, medical personnel from Adamawa State Primary Health Care Development Agency and officials from World Health Organization were seen educating the family members and neighbors on ways to prevent the further spread of the disease. The preventive measures include access of safe water, adequate environmental sanitation, and basic hygiene. NAN reports that cholera infection is among the preventable diseases. On foreign news this morning, Kenya child killer beaten to death by mob after jail escape. Police in Kenya say a man who had confessed to killing a dozen of children and escaped from detention this week has been killed by mob. Nairobi, Kenya. Police in Kenya say a man who had confessed to killing a dozen children and escaped from detention this week, area Assistant County Commissioner Cornelius Nairabi, confirmed the killing of Masten Wanjela in Thursday. The killing near his home in Bungoma, a county, came a day after he escaped from police cells in Nairobi. Police authorities said Wanjala was identified after he joined a football match and played with locals. Some then trailed him and beat him to death. The law of the judge as applied to irate villagers prevailed. Kenyan Police Directorate of Criminal Investigation said in a tweet on Friday, authorities have said Wanjala has confessed to killing 12 children in Nairobi and Machakos and Bungoma countries when he was arrested in July. He reportedly posed as a football coach to lure victims. So far, 5 bodies have been recovered. On entertainment news this morning, I don't want to faint from watching Tiwa's leaked tape, says Shehu Sani. Former lawmaker Shehu Sani has warned internet users to desist from sending him viral sex tape, allegedly featuring popular Nigerian songstress Tiwa Savage. The former senator representing Kaduna Central made this warning on his Facebook page on Tuesday, stating that he could faint from watching the clip, warning nobody should send that Tiwa's video to me so that please I don't faint. The last time someone accidentally sent me a similar clip, I was admission for 1 day. I'm fragile, he wrote. In an interview with American OAP, Angie Martinez of Power 105.1, Tiwa Savage had revealed 2 weeks ago that she was being blackmailed by some people who's threatening to release a sex tape of herself and her current partner. The Somebody's Son crooner also disclosed that while the person demanded money from her, she had decided not to succumb to the blackmail by refusing to pay the person. I decided I was not going to pay the person because if I do 2 months from now, 3 months down the line, or even 2 years later, you are going to come back again. Who knows, if I send the money, the person will probably release it. I am not going to let anyone blackmail me for doing something natural, she said. In the early hours of Tuesday, a leaked sex tape went viral on the internet, together with pictures linking the woman in the video to Tiwa Savage. The video continues to garner reactions from fans and colleagues of the songstress. However, some celebrities have drummed up support for the singer as they uploaded a picture and hailed her on Instagram. Former Big Brother Nigeria finalist Angel earlier slammed critics for blaming the singer, adding that leaking such a video is a criminal offense. And that will be that on our breakfast news. We'll be right back. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Highlights of our breakfast news this morning. On our breakfast news this morning, 2 monarchs killed, others unconscious in Imo stakeholders meeting attack. New amendment empowers INEC to use electronic voting machines. On our political news this morning, consensus arrangements suffer setback in Northeast. APC-PDP exchange ash words on Fayemi's 3-year performance. On our business news this morning, U.S. consulate trains 50 teachers in Lagos State. Dangote Group, MTN Nigeria, and others get recognition. On our sport news this morning, Nigeria versus Ghana. World Rum 6th fifth win with Falcons. On our health news this morning, Adamawa records 500 cholera cases, 23 deaths, says the officials. On our foreign news this morning, Kenya child killer beaten to death by mob after jail escape. On our entertainment news this morning, I don't want to faint from watching Tiwa's leaked sex tape, says Shehu Sani. And that'll be that on our breakfast news this morning. Do thank you for watching. I want you to continue to follow us on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook and Instagram page. Do follow us and subscribe and hit the bell notification button to notify you anytime we are on our breakfast news early as 8 in the morning. So do have a wonderful day, and I remain your host, Makonjola Oluwatosin Esther. Have a great day.
I want to tell you my story. Listen attentively, no be small thing. Oh, Jack Roti Nigbanyo, Taman lo suku, Tico so walk, what to Sonya. Baba me be a jugidigon, ye me be a jugidigon. I'm a Tony Baba Mola, Tony Mama, low lower. As of when we know I know, and we know wow. On to do a gari, to fiji sinu, oh, damn it, load you by my day barrio. Afodano, Demi Toka, oh, your palo, Jaji over, only boring. Titi, you let me, you're my junior, Jaji over,